Hey everyone, my name is Florio. Welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. Either way, it's good to have you here. Okay, so this week we're going to be exploring a few different things. I want to take a look at some of the gadgets and things. Last week's video when we looked at Celina and Call Me Kris, when I was rewatching it with you guys during the premiere, I was just sort of noticing that there were some questions about the gadgets and some things that I was kind of thinking about after the fact. And I was just kind of even more noticing, and even some of you pointed out to it the matches, that are these channels like knowingly messing with the gadgets to get false positives to make their videos look good, or are they just like feigning ignorance to it, or do they truly just not understand how the gadgets work? I feel like we're somewhere in the middle of all that. I do think that there are some channels that do know how to manipulate the gadgets, and I'm starting to think it's even more than we realize, unfortunately. I know a lot of us have our, usual suspects, and we're going to take a look at some of them too. So what I wanted to kind of do this week is I wanted to take a look at some of the gadgets and sort of explore them a little bit more. I know some people have done some deep dives on the gadgets and tested them before too, and we'll take a look at some stuff that I found. And if you guys know of any that videos were done of before in the past, let me know. I haven't been like paying attention to the debunker community on YouTube for I just kind of got into it in the last year. So let me know if there's anything too that I talk about that was already looked at, like even if it was a few years ago or something. Okay. So what else I'm doing is just to let you guys know, life is a little bit hectic right now. I'm taking care of my mom and just like crap constantly going on. For those of you who don't care, you can skip this. I'm having trouble sitting down and organizing the content for you guys. It's just like, I want to get all the content correct. I need it in the right order. I like to put things chronologically, and I like to make sure I'm giving you guys all the facts and everything. So the video essays, I've been having trouble just kind of sitting down and doing. It's requiring a lot of energy on my part, and I'm just finding I just don't have the energy. So for now, I'm just kind of doing these kind of videos where I can sort of just talk off the top of my head or do some light research with you guys, not spend like weeks and weeks like researching every little aspect of something. So it's going to be a little bit more stuff like this for a little bit, at least until I figure out like what the new normal is going to be around here. So just bear with me. I do have a bunch of video essays in the works, and there are things that I do have like a big chunk of the research and everything done for. I can't pull it through that final stretch of organizing it and making sure all the facts and everything are straight. Okay. So just be patient with me. I do apologize. Also, I'm experimenting trying to figure out more with this camera because it is a 4K camera and it's not providing that, but I think I may have found the issue with it. So we'll see how this image does. The premieres are always, they never do 4K and they never look good. But I'm also experimenting with a blurry background. But let me know what you guys want. Do you guys want the cat unblurred? Because I know you guys like to see the cat. I like the blurry background because I think it makes the foreground look more crisp and sharp, but I know you guys like seeing the cat. So if you want me to unblur the backgrounds and not worry about the background being blurred, just let me know. I know some of you guys really like the kitty cat, so even though she just kind of lays there. To be honest. So yeah, I'm experimenting with that a little bit. Also as well, we're heading into summer, and this computer is making this room much hotter than I dealt with before. So I'm gonna have fans and stuff on at times, and I apologize if any of it gets a little bit loud or anything. I'm gonna try to adjust the audios to remove the fan noises and stuff. But if it becomes too annoying or whatever, you can leave a comment below and I'll see how many people actually comment and whether or not it's worthwhile for me to sit in the heat. So yeah, that's just some housekeeping stuff for you guys, and anyone who wanted to skip past it is totally fine. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look at some stuff. I'm going to make my head small. We're going to bring up my browser and everything. We're going to take a look at some things. We're going to look at some videos, some hardware stuff, and we'll do a little bit of research. And yeah, so let's jump into it. Put more of the kitty cat for you guys. Okay. I'm sure you guys will want to see the cat. Yes, it's the dreaded Celina and Kris again. And just to make it clear from the beginning, Throughout this video, I'm going to be showing YouTube channels that are using these gadgets, whether on purpose or by accident, and using them in such a way that it's giving false positives. And again, the sort of hypothesis of this video is I believe that they all know what they're doing. I'm starting to think all of them do. I used to try to give some the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to be showing you a couple channels, but like the biggest one of all that I know is faking stuff, we're going to get to, and we're going to concentrate on that one probably more than anything. I don't mind them, but I totally understand why other people don't like them. I saw your guys' comments. I just want to revisit some things from their video. Now, one of these things is the music box, but in order for you guys to understand how bad it was, I need to play it with their background music. I did it in the live today. I'm going to see if the live gets flagged at all for copyright for their background music. Okay, but it's important kind of to this discussion around this music box that all these ghost hunter channels use. Okay, so it kind of creates my first part of the argument. I want to look at this music box first. So apologies. Yes, we're going to take a look at their video again. Celina is going to set up the music box now. So let's take a look at the setup really briefly. All right. And you guys can see my mouse, right? Yeah. I made my mouse pointer bigger and I made it a bright ass color. So we'll go with this option. Okay. I've made it green, but just because I want to point at some stuff, I do try to like add circles around things when I'm editing too, but I do tend to point at stuff with my mouse pointer, and sometimes I forget to turn it on so you guys can see it. So the Celina's setting up the music box right here. All right. So just keep an eye on that.
Oh, okay, well, if you are, you can walk in front of that music box to let us know that you did.
Oh, I just noticed this too. Holy crap. Okay, wait. You know, I've been beginning to wonder, I've always tried to give like Kris and Celina a sort of benefit of a doubt because I've always thought that they were pure believers in what they're doing. But I don't know. Some of you guys pointed out some stuff in the comments, and I'm starting to wonder if they know what they're doing. And even with watching the video, like, and when I was editing it, I'm starting to think like Celina knows how to mess with the equipment. And when she first places the music box down, she points it down the tunnel, which is a better way to point it, as we see with Kris when she moves it later. So here, let me show you. Okay, so where the light is, you see the light? That's like the front of the music box, right? It's pointed, it's more of an angle, but it's pointed more down towards the tunnel. And it's weird because if she stepped away from it, did she not calibrate it? Like, did she try to calibrate it and it didn't calibrate? So then she decided to move it and calibrate it again, which begs the question, is the surface that it's on a problem? Is it like not even or something? I wonder if she moved it because it wasn't calibrating, or if she moved it because she knew if she pointed at a wall, it would give more false positives. This is actually, now I have more questions. Okay, now I'm asking myself more questions. All right, let's take a look.
You can walk in front of that music box to let us know that you did.
Okay, you see, she moved it. Now it's pointed right at the wall, but she didn't hit the button to calibrate it.
You can walk in front of that music box to let us know that you did. Just calibrating.
No, okay, she did hit the button. It's funny. It's just because I went back and watched this, and I'm like, this is actually my what I'm pondering here right now. What I'm kind of hung up on is whether or not they are knowingly like causing the equipment to do false positives. Because I'm starting to think, yes, that's the case. But some people, I definitely think are doing it, like Twin Paranormal. But some people like Kris and Celina, I thought were doing it maybe by accident. But now, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder. Okay. Now, I just want to show you, they calibrated. It's pointed now at the wall. This device goes off through sound, right? It does like a sort of bat echolocation thing where it calibrates and it throws sound everywhere, figures out where everything is. The idea is if anything changes in the environment, it'll change the sound pattern wave hitting off of it. I believe that sounds can also set this off. Now, I will show you, there is a couple clips I will show you from two debunkers. I just want to show you guys how often this box goes off with it pointed at this wall compared to when Kris finally points it down the tunnel. When she moves it and points it down the tunnel, it stops. I don't know if that's because of like the way Celina placed it to begin with is mucky, or if it's because of it being placed on the wall. So let me just show you how this thing goes off.
Just calibrating. Oh. Okay, she's there.
See, my issue is it went from calibrating to immediately it's going off, which would, in the moment, I would think, okay, hold on, wait, let me recalibrate this. So that maybe it didn't sit right. I'll pick it up, turn off, turn on, like recalibrate it, right? But they didn't do that. So it's either placement or the fact that it's the wall.
Okay, are you going? Are you here? Okay, I'm gonna fall in the water.
Careful, buddy.
Water. Okay. Listen. Well, hold on. Where you at? Did you see the light go off?
So like they're talking, they're screaming, they're whatever, there's echoing in there. The device itself might also echo back as well with the wall there. And also Kris is like flailing about, like losing balance every once in a while. And I do notice that it goes off when she loses balance too.
Okay, do you still see the light in front of you? Okay, everything stopped. Wait, if you're still here, can you go in front of the music box? Oh my god!
What?
Said it. Okay. Celina! Please don't, sorry! Follow the water. Where are you going? Okay. Okay, Kris, I'm really tired. I like I was kind of
Dancing.
You see, it was going off quite a bit right there while she's flailing around. So I do question it a little bit.
Okay, yes. Okay, start. Are you ready to go to the light? Oh my god. Okay, do you want us? Okay, just a minute. Can you stop the music box? Oh my god.
Nervous.
Oh my god! Okay, in my mind's eye, do you see the light this way? Where do you see the light? Well, she's obviously over here. So I think she needs to go to that side. Like, this is an actual, we're in a physical tunnel right now. The tunnel of light. And this is the tunnel of light. Do you want us to walk with you? It is not stopping. We can, yeah, what if we start walking? Yeah. Come with us. Okay. You can come this way. You can. She's so scared. Can you come with us? Oh my gosh.
Okay, now they're going to move the music box and then it stops going off after they move it. So I wonder if it's because of the way Celina placed it, then moved it around, or if it's because it's pointed at a wall. I originally thought maybe it was because it's pointed at the wall or in an echoey environment that was causing weirdness. But now I wonder if it's the way she placed it. Now we'll take a look at how Kris places it. And after Kris places it, it never goes off again.
She's scared. She's literally scared, like she can't do it. She's standing literally there. Like literally there. In front of the music, it has not stopped. Our shadows are not in the way. Oh yeah, our shadows are like not along, or we're on the other side of them.
Actually, that shadow comment also brings in another point. I did point out in my last video too, I feel like they don't even really fully understand how the equipment works that they've purchased, which is the question here, right? Are they just oblivious to how everything works and thus they get false positives because they don't place it correctly? Or are they doing that on purpose? Is that comment there to make it sound like they don't know what this equipment does? Because this thing doesn't sense shadows. Like it does it through like echolocation kind of deal. Right? So shadows literally have no 3D form. It would never set off this music box ever. This is where I'm kind of like on the fence with Celina and Kris and a couple other channels too, where I like wonder, do you fully understand what you're doing? Or do you just fully not understand the equipment or any of this stuff to the point that you cause false positives? Anyway, let's continue watching. Sorry.
Put the camera this way. That's what I wanted to see, if it was a camera lighting. Yeah. Oh god.
Kris right there did try to she tried saying move the camera to see if that would debunk it, like to see if maybe the camera was causing it. Kris does try to debunk some stuff. Celina does try to see. It's always like one of them tries to debunk things, whereas the other one tends to hop on board too much. I've noticed that they flip back and forth, which is good. But then when they're on the same page, then they kind of get on tangents, right? So I do find it interesting too, because some people have asked, well, do they do these little tiny debunk moments to say, hey, we do debunk stuff, do they do it as just like a show? Because there are some channels that do that. They do it on purpose to be like, no, we do debunk. Look, we debunked something in this episode, but they didn't bother debunking anything else. And this is why I wonder, are Celina and Kris just really good actors and we can't tell? Or do they... I'm really on the fence with them. And I think it's because I've watched them for too long. So anyone who's like new to them, I guess, like, tell me your thoughts.
Where is she now? Wait, she's right here. Why? She's like following me. It was over there and now it's over here. It's literally always pointing in the same direction. I want to make sure my shadow's not good. Also, move the box. That's okay. Oh. Ouch. Ouch. She wants to sit.
Also, something that they do, I do find interesting, is they acknowledge every word that comes through their devices and they try to explain how a word might fit, which I find interesting because all the other channels, they tend to ignore the words that don't fit their narrative. So I do find that interesting about them.
It's here. See how you're looking. Here, let's put it maybe. Or, how do you do this? When you put it down, face it that way. Yeah. That rock face. Yeah.
So then Celina told her to like face it at the wall, but Kris faces it down the tunnel. And this is where I wonder sometimes if Celina is aware of how to mess with these devices, especially, I won't show it in my video here because I show it in my video last week enough. She messes with the Ded Bell so much that I think she's doing it on purpose to make it go off at the right times. And this is all Celina's equipment. She owns all this equipment, so she plays with it at home. I do believe that Kris doesn't really understand the equipment, but I don't know. I think Celina does understand the equipment more than she lets on. And I think that she knows how to mess with the equipment. I think she does.
Where are we standing? We'll move back. Yeah. What's it? How do you do this? Just flip it. Okay.
See, there's the light. See, now it's pointed down the tunnel, even though Celina told her to point it that way. And Kris placed it, not Celina, and then it stops going off. So it's like a combination of two like things here.
All right. We moved it just to like be sure. Yeah. Calibrating. Are you still here? Oh.
Okay, now for the rest of the scene, the music box doesn't go off. All right. You can go watch the video if you want. Now let's take a look at Kenny's video where he took a look at the music box. This is an ultrasonic one, which is the same as the coffin box that Celina and Kris were using. And he explains how noise can set it off, which is my theory. I think that the one that's used by all these paranormal channels can be set off by noise and improper placement, especially too. Dawson was in my live chat this today too, and he was saying like improper placement could set it off. He's like, also the thing can be set off like with a hair going past it, like, you know, just little things like that. So like the placement could have also been an issue. But let's take a look at Kenny showing us how he sets it off with noise.
This is one of the ultrasonic music boxes that ghost hunters use. So this one has the two sensors here. It's got a transmitter and receiver, and that's the way this model works, because there are other ones that do the transceiver version, which is a transmitter and receiver in one unit. That's why you only have one hole in the front of the other music boxes that are sold by ghost hunters. And it's interesting. I had it set up all weekend at like different places in my house here and in the garage, and I had it over in the office, and it's been going off randomly at random times, like depending on the scene at which it's calibrated to. Sometimes it doesn't go off at all. Sometimes it goes off like every 5 or 10 seconds. Sometimes it was going off like every 20 or 30 seconds or something like that. But then I realized something. I was walking by this when it was on, and it went off. Then when I walked by again later, it went off again. So I wasn't in the beam. I wasn't like actually, because it was facing that way, and I was walking back here. Because it doesn't work on any kind of visual cues, no visible light. It doesn't work on that. It doesn't work on infrared. It works on sound. The only thing that was different was my keys. So these are my keys, but I usually wear them on my belt loop here as I walk by. I always have them. That's how my wife finds me in department stores and stuff, because she hears the keys rattling. And that was the only thing that was different. So I was like, oh, well, let me try this. And I took it off and I shook them, and I was getting this thing to go off. But I wasn't even in the path of the beam. I was behind it. So here's the front, here's the two sensors. I'm going to point it off the table so it doesn't read the table at all. But I'm going to point it off the table. It's pointing that way, and I'm going to turn it on. You're going to see a white light right here start blinking, and then it'll stop. And that means it's calibrated, because I think the process is that it sends out 8 pulses, 8 ultrasonic pulses, in order to gauge, okay, where things are. Is there any difference between those 8 pulses? No. Okay, we're calibrated. We know where something is. We know how far things are away from the sensor. And that's it. And that's what it bases all the rest of the signals that it puts out as it stays on. That's what it bases it on. So if there's any difference, like somebody comes in front of it, hits the signal comes back to it and says, hey, something's much closer, let's set the alarm off. Or in this case, it's a music box. So I'm gonna turn it on. There's the white light. So it's calibrated. I'm gonna put my hand in front of it.
Number one, I wanted to show Kenny's video because first off, if you are going to do paranormal investigations and if you are setting up equipment, this is what you should do. You should set up the equipment and then test it to make sure that your placement is working as designed. They put down the music box on an uneven surface and just walked away from it immediately and didn't test it. It was immediately going off, and they didn't test to see like if maybe it could be a little bit of a bugged setup. So that's number one. I wanted to kind of show you how Kenny tests the device to make sure that the placement is good. And that's what everyone should be doing for the paranormal investigations.
So it's going off. It's working the way it should. But watch this. So I'm standing behind it. You know, I'm not making it go off. Nothing. Okay? I'm gonna pick my keys up. Look, again, I'm behind it.
So I was told that Kenny and Dawson went on a little back and forth about this, right? With videos and whatnot. I have a feeling like each one of these devices uses different types of sensors that are more sensitive to certain things or not sensitive, whatever. So this is Dawson's whole video is on members only, but he has a little short here. So he's using a different device, same technology, but different, make and device. He can't get his to set off. And just to show you as well, let's take a look and I'll explain to you how this one is made, like how it does its sensors and whatever. All right, so even on Amazon, as I showed you guys last time as well, this isn't using motion detector technology, which means that there's no passive infrared that emits energy to potentially create false readings on the equipment. Instead, it uses sound waves. We hear over and over that this is the favorite piece of equipment of our customers, blah, 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 blah. All right, and that's the paranormal music box. Let's see if they explain it further on their website. I don't know how overpriced this is. I recognize this tripod, but putting it on a tripod might be a smart move to make sure that nothing is wrong with the placement of it. But even just testing it after you place it is your best bet. Sensitive to person, animal skin, temperature, and contrast to background objects at room temperature, no energy. See, now they're saying temperature in here, but it's done through sound waves. So why are they saying this is now a temperature sensor? Ultrasonic pulse detection. Ultrasonic temperature sensors, also known as ultrasound thermometry, utilize sound waves to indirectly measure temperature. They function by analyzing speed. So is this a temperature sensing box then? All right. I cut a huge portion of my video out because you guys may or may not know, but I went to school for tech, like computers, engineering, and all that stuff. So I do know a bit about tech. But when I start like researching and talking about it, I got a little bit too like wordy and I was going back and forth too much. So I'm going to try to recreate this, simplify it for you guys. And if you have any questions after all this, leave it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do to answer any other questions regarding these different sensor technologies. I'm going to start first showing you a couple videos to try to explain the differences between the two sensors that are listed in these devices.
The two technologies are passive infrared, also called PIR, and dual technology, which is a combination of PIR and ultrasonic. PIR sensors detect the heat energy of a person in a confined space. Dual technology sensors combine PIR and ultrasonic technology. Ultrasonic technology uses wave analysis and the Doppler effect to detect moving objects. The combination of PIR and ultrasonic technology makes these sensors ultra-reliable and incredibly responsive, even down to picking up fine movements, such as someone working diligently at their desk.
Passive infrared sensors, as the name suggests, are passive because they do not emit any energy. Instead, they rely on detecting the infrared radiation naturally emitted by objects. PIR sensors are equipped with a special lens, called a Fresnel lens, which focuses the infrared radiation onto the sensor's surface. This lens creates multiple zones of detection, enabling the sensor to detect even small movements across its field of view. In contrast, ultrasonic and microwave sensors are active systems because they emit waves to detect motion. Ultrasonic sensors generate sound waves beyond the range of human hearing, which bounce off objects and return to the sensor. The device measures the time taken for the waves to return, and any disruption in this timing indicates movement. Similarly, microwave sensors emit electromagnetic waves and measure changes in the reflected signals. These methods are especially useful in environments where heat-based detection might fail, such as warehouses with varying temperatures. Dual technology sensors leverage the strengths of each individual technology while minimizing their weaknesses. For instance, a dual sensor might use PIR to detect heat and a microwave sensor to confirm movement. This layered approach ensures higher reliability and fewer false alarms, which is crucial in sensitive scenarios like perimeter security or high traffic areas. While motion sensors are undeniably useful, they are not without challenges. Factors like environmental conditions, sensor sensitivity, and interference from other devices can affect their performance. For example, PIR sensors might struggle in extremely hot climates where the ambient temperature matches body heat, while ultrasonic sensors might pick up unwanted noise from machinery or electronic devices. Addressing these issues requires a combination of better sensor design, smarter algorithms, and more robust integration into systems.
There's no sensor that exists that's both PIR and ultrasonic. You actually have to put two sensors on your board, on your device, and both sensors need to work together. And if you're going for a 2-device unit, it needs a little bit more power. And then the information also needs to be fed into a more like software algorithm thing. So it's going to be more hardware on this box. I don't see it having. Not only can I not see it having that, but the listing itself makes it clear which actual sensors are in each box. Over to the music box, looks like the coffin here. We can see, again, this only has one hole, only has room for one sensor coming out of the hole. So this one goes on to say it uses ultrasound pulses to detect movement of paranormal entities. It has passive radar sensors built in to detect motion. Passive radar sensors, it's the same as the ultrasonic sensors. It senses things based on information that's bouncing back to it. So it's doing sort of what Kenny showed. And that is the music box that looks like the coffin. They do explain too to keep it dry and out of the rain and things like that, because I did see that apparently these can be set off by like moisture in the air, rain, being in an area that's about to have a thunderstorm, things like similar to the REM pod, which we'll get to. Also, apparently they can be buggy and be set off by like someone turning on a microwave, a cell phone, a radio, which the spirit box is often like nearby these things too. All right, but if we look at like what Dawson's unit uses, the heat purchase that we saw in the short, it uses PIR. So that's only working with IR sensors, which is heat. So Dawson's box, advanced PIR sensors. It doesn't even require calibration. Yeah, this doesn't require calibration. It's 100% just IR sensors, because IR sensors don't require calibration, but the ultrasonic stuff do, because they have to send pulses out and read the environment and figure out where everything is in a room. So it doesn't even sound like they're offering a device that uses both. It's like one or the other. It looks like Dawson's is using IR, which then I question, if a ghost is supposed to be cold, how the hell is IR going to pick it up? And the music box here, as I said, uses ultrasound pulses to detect movement of entities. Well, I mean, we don't know that it does that, but it uses right here passive radar sensors built in to detect motion. Okay, and just to confirm, I think this is the actual like creator's website. So I just want to show you that I confirmed it here as well. So this is like the box that Dawson has. So this one doesn't have to remain stationary. Also, it does not need to be calibrated. And this is because it's using IR. It's only sensing heat, and that's it. See, it says here, sensitive to temperature. And then just to confirm again, this is the coffin box like most people have. Well, most, whatever, the big YouTube ghost hunters that we're talking about today and the TV shows. So this one is a completely different motion detector. So they are different. So it tries to say that it's temperature, it senses skin temperature in contrast to background objects at room temperature, but it only says that it does ultrasound pulse detection, and that's not a temperature detection. And everywhere else does say ultrasound. Even that Amazon listing said it wasn't IR at all, which means that it's not a dual machine. It's only ultrasound. And ultrasound, the ultrasound is very sensitive to moisture and storms and things like that. And this one has warnings to keep away from water and liquids, including rain. Like it says that in this one, but not in the other one because this is more sensitive. So this one can go off with sound, which is what Kenny's test was. Whereas Dawson was testing the IR one, that goes off with heat.
The future of motion sensor technology is promising. Advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning are enabling sensors to process data more intelligently, distinguishing between different types of motion and adapting to their environments.
I just added that AI thing there because I want to point out that these existing boxes that are out here right now, they're not using this AI technology, right? They're using the original technology. These guys started their company in 2001, and then they met TAPS in 2007. They created their K2 meter around that time. They don't say when they created the music box, but essentially ChatGPT was released in 2022. OpenAI was released in 2024. The reason I bring this up is because people being able to make devices like this that use AI cheaply, a small business, it's not until this new OpenAI stuff was available to us that we've been able to utilize it. So it's very new. A lot of people forget how new some of this AI is because we're getting inundated with it so much. But you need it open source to be able to make this stuff as a small business and a small creator. And I'm sure they'll use this eventually. I do believe that the Alice box is using this now, which we'll get to. The coffin, it's not using it. I mean, we can tell based on the sensors and the design of the box and how big it is and everything, it's not using this stuff yet. And yes, there was some AI before all this, but the smart AI that video is talking about, this is going to be recent. This is going to be 2023 to 2025. And this music box has been out for longer than that. Yeah, see, it was featured on Ghost Adventures 6 years ago. I just know, you can tell. See, there's only one sensor in there. If this was a combination box, there would be two. And then a little onboard computer that needs to be powered as well. It would eat through the battery very quickly. Okay, to summarize, simplify this. So Dawson's unit here is using PIR, which is passive IR. It only senses things that are heat. This music box here, this one, the coffin one, it's using ultrasonic, which is similar to what Kenny had set up. But here's the issue with these devices. If a ghost is see-through and if you can walk through a ghost, ultrasound is not going to bounce off of it. Okay. Ultrasonic, whatever. It's not going to bounce off of it. And if a ghost is supposed to be cold, as is the theory, then the IR sensors aren't going to get set off because IR sensors are looking for heat. They're not looking for cold. I couldn't find anywhere that said that they offer IR motion detectors that go off with cold. The whole technology is based on heat. So these devices are just BS, to be honest. And it sounds like they can go off with false positives like sound, rain, weather. You point it at a refrigerator or something, or in a kitchen. If there's an item in there that's getting hot because refrigerators go hot and cold, on their own. There's a lot of opportunity for false positives with this. And then if you're doing outdoor stuff, which I see Twin Paranormal and some other people do, these devices are just BS, because they're designed to pick up animals and birds and things like that, right? So it's just going to pick that stuff up, not to mention if there's a certain type of weather. So in conclusion, these devices are garbage, but we're going to take a look at some more stuff in this video too. But this is me trying to revisit the music boxes because it's a little confusing because they all use different sensors and different technologies. But even with these technologies, with the theory that we have about ghosts, these technologies technically shouldn't pick up ghosts at all, zero. Okay. So just think about that. So we're going to pop into Twin Paranormal stuff next. Just to get you primed, here's a small little things about the music box with them. Just a short little end to the music box section before we get into the dictionary devices.
I like how the music box went off just once. Mm-hmm.
We don't see them do the setup of the music box in this one, but he says, oh, the music box went off just once. We didn't hear it at all. Talks about walking sounds. We didn't hear those. Even still, they have their whole crew with them. Yes, I said their crew. I'll explain that in a second.
We're also very close to that burial site where that object was dug up. If there is anybody around us who would like to give us some information.
Music box.
Right at the burial site. right when
We don't get to see their setup. The music box goes off right there. They're outside. Originally, I was thinking if something's done by heat with the temperature changes with outside, you know, you never know. But this music box is the ultrasonic one. So it's taking a picture of everything. So if it's windy at all, if there's an animal around, also, as we heard too, it goes off with like rain in the air, thunderstorms, things like that, similar to the REM pod. So using these devices outside just isn't a good idea. I would say that if you're going to do an investigation outside, use the IR one, not this one. But to be honest, these boxes wouldn't pick up a ghost with the theory that we have about ghosts being cold and see-through. I just say don't even waste your money, honestly. I decided to add a section for the Ded Bell anyhow. It's very small. I'm going to show you clips of Celina messing with it. Also remember, a lot of people edit this stuff out and they didn't edit it out for some reason. So this gives us a bit of clarity as to possibly what's going on with other people that they've ghost hunted with that have edited stuff out. You never know, right? They all learn from one another. Just a reminder, if the audio in the clips goes in and out a little bit, I'm just trying to adjust for any copyright music.
All right, so explain this. Yeah, so this is the Ded Bell, and it works like a REM pod, pretty much. That, and spirits are literally able to ding it themselves. Got it. Yeah, got it. All right, there we go. All right, she's set.
All right, so she sets the Ded Bell. Once set, like, you shouldn't need to mess with it anymore. If you do mess with it, either it's because you believe you didn't set it right to begin with, so then you should probably ignore all the other answers, or you're messing with it to make it go off more.
And we also have a flashlight over here as well. Okay, I don't like this already. I hate the sound. It's like the... Okay. Okay. Celina. Hello? Can you not do that? No, we would turn it off.
Okay, so then she goes and adjusts it again. Does she think because it wasn't set up properly and is going off too often? So if that's the case, then shouldn't you ignore all the previous bells?
Is this the general?
But you see, every time she adjusts it, it starts going off a lot. So I think that she knows what she's doing when she adjusts it. She's trying to get it to go off.
Is there more than one spirit here?
And then it stops going off as often. Then she adjusts it again.
Okay, there's 1, 2. So there's more than one spirit here. There's 3. Okay, we're counting spirits. 4.
And then it just starts going off again after she adjusts it. It goes off a bunch.
Dude? Is that right? Oh my god. Okay, it's like going off. Oh my god. Okay.
And then she's adjusting it again. Why? Because it's going off too often? So shouldn't you ignore the previous bells? As you can tell, I'm repeating myself.
Okay. How many spirits are down here? Okay, I just want to see if this is... I just want to make sure it's mid-range. I don't want it to like go off.
Now, in the basement leading up to this moment, the bell was not going off until she started touching it and messing with it again.
Yeah. How many ghosts are down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tweak. It's a tweak. 5, 6. I'm tweaking out right now. 6, 7, 8. Oh my god, I hate this sign. 10, 11. No, okay, it's just like 12, 13. Okay. Tone. Watch your tone. Tone. Watch your tone. Okay, like I'm just freaking out. 11. Just 11. 11. Oh my god. Maybe that's terrifying.
I think I made my point on this one. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys on a bit of a cliffhanger. I'm gonna be splitting this video up into 2. I still have 2 more hours of footage to work through on top of that as well. The first part of this video, which is kind of like I go into details on the music box. I don't really talk too much about Twin Paranormal. I talk more about Celina and Kris, if anything, and even that is pretty light. But the rest of this video, I use Twin Paranormal as an example for a lot of everything else for the rest of this video. So I'm going to make the next week's video the second half, and it's going to be mainly Twin Paranormal I'm using as an example against the rest of the gadgets and other things that people use for these sensationalized ghost hunts. I will see you guys in the premiere, and you will see the next part of this video next week. It'll be the longer version of it, and we'll be delving into a bunch of Twin Paranormal.